Hello everybody, it's Mimberly and welcome back to another video. So we are back on When Dreams Wake. I am 99% sure that I have figured out how to get the NSFW ending because I watched back on my last video and I realised that Dawnbreaker seemed a bit upset that I didn't throw the snowball at him. So I think that might have been the point where I messed up the NSFW ending. So I'm going to replay through the game normally and we're going to see if I nail it in this video. If not, then I'll do more research and then we can have a part 3. But you know what, let's see how it goes. So I'm on the first choice. So last time I chose to stay put. I think I was on the right track with that, so we're going to stick to that same one. I'm going to read it again from the beginning, so for any new choices, you know, you can obviously go back and check the original video, but from this point on, we're going to start reading. I'm not going anywhere. His jaw flexes. For a moment, it feels like he'll shove you aside. Instead, his hand comes up, resting against the door frame beside your head. The space between you shrinks, the air colder the longer he hovers. Your defiance, the set of your chin, only makes his eyes narrow further. You don't want to be here with me? No, I don't. You don't understand what I am. Then show me. Something flickers behind the ice in his eyes. When you think it's gonna break, he blinks and the frost melts away, replaced by shame and worry. ZAYNE steps back like you've burned him. Don't do that. Do what? Encourage him. Oh, he's harmless. ZAYNE gives you a tired look that makes your stomach knot, like he's already lived through the ending you're trying to avoid. He pulls the bag from your hands without a word and heads toward the table. You follow. His hands move quietly, unboxing the food, setting it down with careful, practiced gestures. You watch the curve of his shoulder, the way his fingers still tremble when they brush yours by accident as you help set the plates. You wonder which of them pulled away first. You sit together to eat. ZAYNE asks you about your day, and you share the small details. A difficult mission, a colleague's joke, the way the wind nearly knocked you over on your way here. You try to keep the mood light, playful. You toss in a few teasing remarks, small nudges meant to get a reaction. But he doesn't bite. There's no smile, no eye roll, just a soft hum now and then, like he's listening, but not letting any of it reach him. But something shifts in the way he watches you. You can see cracks forming in his careful composure. When you stand to leave, you lean toward him, seeking some form of goodbye. Like before everything changed. He pulls back, putting distance between your bodies. Your face falls. ZAYNE. His fingers curl and uncurl at his side, like he's fighting the urge to reach you. The words die on his lips. He looks away. Good night. Let me know when you get home. You gather your things in the heavy silence. He still carries the weight of what happened. The fear that his touch might harm you, that getting too close risks everything. The guilt has carved itself into the space between you. Turning every gesture into a potential threat. You slip on your coat by the door, hoping tomorrow will bring you closer to breaking through the walls he's built around himself. Behind you, the door stays open a second longer than it needs to. Can you pass me the salt? You're cooking together for the first time in a while. The snow's just fallen, blanketing the city in silence. Inside, the apartment smells like garlic and ginger, warmth clinging to the air as the stove hisses softly. You pinch a bit of salt from the container instead of handing in the whole thing, sprinkling it directly into his open palm. He looks down at the tiny pile, then at you. There's a flicker of amusement in his eyes. You're being childish. But his voice lacks its usual sharpness. There's something softer underneath, almost fond. Before he can reach across you for the salt container, you place it in his hand, fingers brushing his palm deliberately. The contact sends a small thrill through you. His skin is always cool, but now there's warmth creeping up from where you touch him. Satisfied? He doesn't pull his hand away immediately. Instead, he watches you with those keen eyes, like he's studying your face for something he's been missing. You can't stop the smile spreading across your lips. It's been days of careful distance, of him flinching away from every casual touch. But now he's looking at you the way he used to, like you're the only thing in the room worth his attention. Very. His gaze drops to your mouth for just a moment before he turns back to the stove. But you catch the slight upturn of his lips, the way his movements seem less rigid than they have in days. Progress. Real progress. The TV murmurs in the background, filling the apartment with warmth. A drama plays until the screen cuts to breaking news about Ever. The temperature plummets instantly. You glance over. ZAYNE has gone rigid, his eyes locked on the screen. Hey, the pot! You turn down the heat. As you move, your hand catches the edge of a knife left on the counter. Pain shoots through your finger. You hiss, watching blood swell up at your fingertip. A cold hand wraps around your wrist, holding you still. Don't touch it. The voice isn't the doctor's. Not quite. You look up, startled. This is the first time Dawnbreaker has touched you. His grip is firm, but careful, ice against your skin. A moment passes, then another. You stand frozen together, the TV continuing its broadcast. Are we waiting for something? He looks away, a mix of annoyance and embarrassment crossing his face. The doctor is taking longer to come back this time. He glances at you and then at your bleeding finger. Something shifts in his expression, concern breaking through the ice. Stay here. He returns with a first aid kit. You watch, fascinated, as he cleans your finger with methodical precision and applies a bandage. Now, last time I said, so you do care about me. Again, I think I'm on the right track, so I'm gonna go for that option again. He goes completely still, the bandage wrapper crinkling in his frozen grip. You do? You care about me? A flush creeps up his neck, stark against his pale skin. He looks anywhere but at you. I don't want you bleeding on the food. Liar. His eyes snap to yours, something dangerous flickering there. You were worried. I saw it. You don't know what you saw. But his thumb brushes over the bandage he just applied, the touch so light you almost miss it, before returning to stir in the pot. Silence fills the room for a moment. We finally get to spend some time together. How should I call you? Dawn? The words tumble out before you can stop them. I know you're both ZAYNE, but it might get confusing if I keep saying ZAYNE for both of you, and saying the ZAYNE from another timeline doesn't really roll off the tongue, you know? He glances at you briefly, and then back at the stove. Do as you want. You try drawing him into conversation by asking about his day, commenting on the snow, even talking about chocolate. But every attempt meets the same response. Non-committal hums or single-word answers. When the food finishes cooking, he moves toward the sofa. His gait is uneven, like each step costs him effort. The air grows sharper, colder, and the TV screen flickers erratically. You look at ZAYNE and see the black ice spreading across his neck. Are you alright? He raises his hand, urgency flashing in his eyes. Don't come closer. Well, fuck it, we're gonna step closer. You ignore his warning and settle beside him on the sofa, reaching for his hand. He tries to pull away, but your grip holds firm. It doesn't hurt me. Let me offer you a bit of... it doesn't hurt me. I started reading it in like my little mini ZAYNE voice and I realized it was MC, so my bad. It doesn't hurt me. Let me offer you a bit of comfort. Save it for the doctor. He deserves it. Not me. Don't say that. You know what these hands have done. His voice cracks slightly. I hurt you. You weren't yourself. Something triggered you, didn't it? He turns away, jaw tight. It doesn't matter. Your fingers tighten around his. He sighs, a sound heavy with resignation, but stops trying to pull free. Silence stretches between you. The ice on his neck has stopped spreading, but he still looks like he's fighting something invisible. You decide conversation might be the distraction that he needs. How's your world? Not worth talking about. That bad, huh? You try for lightness, but his expression remains granite. I'm not in it to make it better. The joke dies in the air. His face turns somber, almost pained. No. The single word hits like a physical blow. Oh. The silence that follows feels heavier than before. You try to imagine his world, a desolate place where he moves through endless grey hunting monsters that used to be people. I wish both of you could stay here. His head snaps towards you, genuine surprise flickering across his features. Why? I don't want you to suffer. You don't seem to like it when you're where you're from. He opens his mouth and then closes it. Something vulnerable crosses his face before he looks away. You stay like that for a while. Eventually, you set up a plate of food beside him on the coffee table. He stares at it like it's a foreign object. In his world, there's probably no time for meals shared in warmth. No one to notice if he's eaten or rested. It's not poisoned. That earns you a faint huff of air. Not a laugh, but close. You go about cleaning up, rinsing dishes at the sink. The sound of running water fills the quiet, and then arms come around you. Zane? He's trembling against your back, holding on to you like you might disappear. You lean into him, hand reaching back to stroke his hair. You were gone for a while this time. Were you in his world? Kind of. I could still feel what he felt here. It was like seeing colour for the first time. Your heart aches for both of them. Zane, who fears what he might become, and Dawnbreaker, who's forgotten what it means to be human. He's not used to kindness. Zane hums against your neck, the sound vibrating through you. But still, you shouldn't get too close. You don't answer, but your hand continues its soothing motions through his hair. You wish you could shelter both of them here. Keep Dawnbreaker from returning to that grey wasteland where hope goes to die. But there has to be other ways to help. Well, hopefully, we're on the way to that. We're back to Zane's POV. She glides across the ice ahead of him, cheeks flushed, arms stretched slightly for balance. Her laugh rises, soft and bright, disappearing into the open air. Zane watches her, unmoving. The rink isn't crowded, scattered couples are circling slowly, hands held, leaning close. It's a kind of scene he has no business being in. Not anymore. He was supposed to leave days ago. This was supposed to be a temporary goodbye. A few days. Just long enough to ease her into departing. He never intended to stay longer. He told himself he wouldn't. But he was still here, watching her smile like nothing had changed between them. Going to the library can wait another day. The distance he needs to put between them can wait another day. Which part of him keeps making these excuses? The doctor, who's always been addicted to her presence? Or the other one who watches hungrily from the shadows? The other him has been manageable lately. Almost docile. It doesn't make sense. In his world, there's no room for gentleness. Yet around her, he's different. Zane is grateful that he isn't a threat. For now. He still doesn't understand what triggered those first attacks against her. Both times, it was like watching someone else puppeteer his body, feeling the rage and desperation, but unable to stop it. His other self never explained it, and Zane doesn't ask. He doesn't want to even think about it, at least not for now. He keeps their conversations short, practical, their only way of communicating being hastily drawn, or being hastily scrawled notes left around the apartment. Don't eat the last of the chocolate, she brings more. Turn up the heat, she gets cold. Stay away from her. That last one gets ignored more often than not. Since the kitchen incident, the other him has grown bolder, touching her wounded finger and allowing her to sit close. Too close. It frustrates Zane beyond measure, this lack of control over his own body. Sometimes, Zane wonders if this is what the other one felt when he dreamed through his eyes. When he wanted this life from the outside, unable to touch it. Zane never expected to understand that kind of longing. And now it won't leave him alone. Sometimes he wants to warn her to explain the danger she's courting, but she already knows. shows too much interest in his other self. Hold on, can I put... Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I was hoping there was going to be like a way... Hold on, what does this config mean? I could have put it in full screen this whole goddamn time. Ignore Mim being an idiot. But Zane can't forget what he's seen in those nightmares and what he has done in this world. The blood on his hands, the bodies left behind. The fact that his other self claims those deaths are mercy doesn't change what they are. After all that, how can she look at both of them and still see something worth saving? She waves at him from across the ice, breaking his spiraling thoughts. Did you get frozen or what? The irony isn't lost on him. He skates over, his movements more controlled but less natural than hers. He was supposed to be gone by now. Instead, he's here, stealing moments he has no right to claim. Back to our POV. The rink feels intimate despite the handful of other couples scattered across the ice. Zane pulls you closer as you glide together, his arm sliding around your waist to guide you through a turn. Your bodies move in sync, and when you stumble slightly, he catches you against his chest. You don't pull away. Neither does he. His hand stays at the small of your back, keeping you pressed close. Your faces are inches apart now, breath mingling in small clouds between you. This close. You can see the flecks of green in his hazel eyes, can feel the warmth of his body seeping through your jacket. If we were to switch when we were this close, what would you do? His voice is low, rough. The question sends heat spiraling through you despite the cold. His eyes drop to your lips and then back up, and then you can feel the tension crackling between you like electricity. You realize he's not just talking about himself. He's talking about the other him. The one who might take his place in this exact moment. The one who might wake up with his hands already on your skin. And he's afraid of what you might do. What he might do. I wouldn't move. I'm sticking to that decision. His pupils dilate slightly. The hand at your back flexes, fingers pressing more firmly against your spine. Disapproval wars with something darker in his expression. Want, maybe, or fear of his own reaction to your answer. Why are you asking Dr. Zane? Are you jealous of your own self? How cute. You. But you're already pushing off, skating backward away from him with a wicked smile. The frustration and desire wearing in his expression only fuel your teasing. He follows, predatory grace in every movement as he closes the distance you've created. You glide towards the edge of the rink, your boots automatically shifting as you step onto solid ground, the smart technology reshaping the blades into normal soles. Zane follows, his own boots adapting with a quiet sound. The snow crunches under your feet as you bend to scoop up a handful, packing it into a perfect sphere. You're already winding up to throw when you catch sight of his eyes. The shift is subtle, but unmistakable. Dawn. Okay, right, last time when I did this, right? Last time, I said grease him, because I wasn't sure how he was going to handle a snowball fight. He seemed upset when I did that, so this time, I am actually just going to throw it. And I'm going to see what happens. You realize the snowball, or you release the snowball right straight into his face. Snow splatters across his hair and jaw. For a beat, he just stands there, expression unreadable. You burst out laughing, breath forming clouds in the frozen air. Oops! He leans down without a word, hands forming a perfect snowball with practiced efficiency. You don't wait and start to run. He gives chase. Aww! Snow explodes around you as projectiles fly back and forth. You dodge and step across the white ground, laughing breathlessly while he moves with precision. Maybe you're the only one laughing. You can't tell through the adrenaline. You round a corner near the rink wall when he catches up from behind. He grabs your arm. You yelp as momentum carries you both down, feet slipping in on the packed snow. You tumble together in the drift. You land hard with snow flying everywhere. When the world stops spinning, he's above you. Knees straddling your thighs, hands placed in the snow beside your shoulders. He goes completely still. Oh! The cold vanishes under the heat that ignites between your bodies. Your breath catches, creating wisps of vapor in the space separating you. His face hovers close enough to see individual snowflakes melting against his skin, close enough to feel the tension coiled in every muscle. You reach up and brush ice crystals from his temple with careful fingers. He doesn't move, watching you with half-lidded eyes. The moment stretches between you like a held breath. His gaze drops to your lips, lingers there with an intensity that makes your pulse shudder. Then it goes back to your eyes, searching for something he's afraid to find. Heat pulls in your stomach as you realize how perfectly his body cages yours, how his weight presses you into the snow without crushing you. Then he's pulling away, standing with sudden urgency. He offers you his hand, cheeks flushed with something that has nothing to do with winter air. You take his hand and let him pull you to your feet. Okay, I think I made a good choice there. You make your way through the park, boots crunching in the snow. Even without touching, the distance between you never felt thinner. Dawn walks beside you. He's quiet, but not as rigid as usual. When he first appears, he's always ice. Serious, quiet, like a piece of that other world still clinging to him. But lately, he's been melting faster. His gaze drifts around more, noticing things. The snowflakes falling and landing on the tree branches, that warm glow of the light strung along the path. You stop at a small food stall, hand the woman a few coins and wait for your order. The smell of warm pastry fills the cold air, steam drifting in soft curls. Then you feel it. The temperature dips sharply. Unnatural. You turn and see Dawn staring at his hands. Black ice is crawling across his fingers, webbing down his knuckles. You freeze. For just a second, your body remembers the way that ice pierced through your skin. Okay, so last time I said to wait, because I was basically, the reason for that decision was because I didn't want him to think I was afraid of him. So I think I'm on the right track, so I'm going to choose to wait again. You stay put, watching as he focuses intently on his hands. The ice shifts and reshapes under his concentration, forming something intricate and beautiful. He opens his palm towards you. A jasmine flower made of ice rests there, each petal carved with impossible detail. For you. That's just so cute. You take it carefully from him, cradling it in your gloved hands. Each petal is perfectly carved. You turn it slowly, light glinting off its crystalline edges. It's beautiful. Thank you, Dawn. I'm sorry for hurting you. You glance up, eyebrows rising. His voice is quiet. I don't want to lose control again. Again, I said I'd forgive you last time. Gonna do it again. If I've made a bad choice here, I'm sorry. I'm literally just using my gut instincts right now. I forgive you. His eyes widen just slightly, like he didn't expect those words. Not after everything. You shouldn't. But I do. You hold his gaze, refusing to let him retreat. His breathing slows and something flickers across his features, pain mixed with something that might be peace. He nods once, barely perceptible. Then I won't forget it. Before either of you can say more, he blinks and warmth returns to his eyes. Zane's back. He notices the flower still cradled in your palm, eyebrows rising slightly in question, and then without a word he extends his hand. You watch as white particles shimmer around his fingers, his evil activating. Ice forms in his palm, touched with the pale blue undertones. When he finishes, he places the small snowman into your other hand. You bring it closer to your face. Every detail is perfect. The round body, the carved smile, even tiny ice spheres for eyes. I know, this is so goddamn cute. A snowman? Really? A superior sculpture? Laughter bubbles up from your chest, breath puffing out invisible clouds. The server extends the food order. Steam rising from the paper bag. Zayne takes it since your hands are occupied. You're holding too many things. And whose fault is that? Drop the jasmine. Absolutely not. Then open your mouth. He tears off a piece of the steaming pastry and brings it towards your lips. You let him place the morsel on your tongue. Warmth spreads through you, sweet and perfect against the winter air. You hum in appreciation. ZAYNE watches you closely. There's something fond in the way his eyes soften. Then they flicker to the flower in your hand again. I thought his evil abilities would be more refined. You hum non-committedly, too distracted by the delicious food, and open your mouth again. He tears off another bite of pastry and then pauses. Say it. Say what? That mine's better. Are you serious? He lifts the food just out of reach. You make a noise of protest, chasing him around the edge of the stool as laughter spills from your lips. Who's being childish now? He maintains his distance for a few moments, clearly savouring his leverage over you. And when he finally relents, offering you the warm pastry, he's smiling. Alright, that's enough. You're relentless. The smile catches you off guard. You can't tell who's looking back at you, if it's ZAYNE's careful affection or Dawn's rare glimpse of joy. You take the pastry with a smile of your own, then glance down at the two sculptures in your hands. One delicate and dark, the other precise and bright. You cradle them both with quiet care, aware of how easily either could break. This is so goddamn cute. The sun bleeds orange across the wasteland horizon, painting the buildings in shades of rust and gold. ZAYNE sits on the edge of a crumbling rooftop, legs dangling over nothing, watching the sky burn. For now, he is not waiting for the red dot on his map, or the wet sound of claws scraping raw concrete. He is waiting for the switch. The pool hasn't started yet. That strange tugging sensation that means his world and the doctor's are about to blur together. But it will come, and when it does, he'll trade his desolate skyline for warm lamplight and the sound of her laughter. His fingers trace the edge of a chocolate wrapper crumpled in his pocket. It's empty, like everything else in this place. But the memory of sweetness remains. Not the chocolate itself, but the way she'd smile when she gave it to him. The way she watched him with those careful eyes, like he was something worth studying instead of something to fear. The doctor thinks he's dangerous. Maybe he is. His hands have taken more lives than either of them can count, even if each death was a form of kindness. The doctor's notes still burn in his mind. Stay away from her. Scrawled in familiar handwriting on a post-it, as if distance could erase what's already taken root. He tried at first, tried to keep distance between them, but it never lasted. He still keeps his distance when he can, not for the doctor's sake, but for hers. If he loses control again? But no, he won't. She's the warmth that keeps him from spiraling when the sun disappears and the sky rots into grey. She's the thing that proves he's still connected to something human. Still capable of feeling. She makes him remember what it feels like to want something other than the next kill, the next mercy he'll deliver to creatures that used to be human. When her fingers brush his, when he doesn't flinch away from the ice spreading across his skin, it cracks something inside him open, something he thought had died years ago. He's not just watching anymore. He's living. The sensation is foreign, almost painful, like blood returning to a limp that's been numb too long. But he hoards every second of it, even though he knows he shouldn't. I am still waiting to see if my husband is coming home because he's on a late shift today. He's been on a full day. Can we get a blessings in Cade for being on a full shift? 12 hours is not easy doing that job. He can never stay for long. The familiar creep of black ice always comes, a reminder that the warmth isn't his to keep. The longer he lingers, the more it spreads, marking him as the intruder he is. It's not fair to her. She looks at him, and he wants to give her everything. But he's borrowing time that belongs to the doctor, time that belongs to the man she truly loves. The pool starts, like fingers threading through smoke. His world begins to blur at the edges, colour bleeding out until only sensation remains. He knows he shouldn't want this, knows the black ice will come, knows he's stealing moments that aren't his. knows the doctor's fury will be waiting in hastily drawn, scribbled notes. But a smile tugs at the corner of his mouth anyway. He can't help it. Not when she's there. Oh, poor Dawnbreaker. Days blur together in a strange rhythm. You split your time between them. Zane, who still refuses to return to work, and Dawn, who surfaces more frequently now. The switches happen so often that sometimes you have to really study their eyes to know who you're talking to. But the cold always gives Dawn away after some time. Zane is busy, but he refuses to talk about it. You don't ask too much, but you wonder what he does while you're away. You suspect it has something to do with the white-haired boy he mentioned before. A relative, though Zane never explains the connection clearly. Dawn is different. He answers your questions about his world with reluctant honesty, even when he insists there's nothing worth sharing. Grey skies, empty buildings, the sound of wind through broken glass. You piece together the fragments he offers, building a picture of desolation that makes your chest ache. He never talks about what he does there, but you know. The notes scattered around the apartment tell their own story. The two only seem to communicate through them. You thought Dawn would have better handwriting, not being a doctor and all, but apparently illegible scrawls are just a shared trait. Half of the time, you can't even tell what the words are. Why is there a plant on the windowsill? She bought it. It's going to die. Everything dies. Helpful. I could freeze it, preserve it. That's not how plants work. How would you know? You've started leaving your own responses scribbled in the margins like a freeway conversation that never happens face to face. It's a succulent, guys. Very hard to kill. Dawn, please don't freeze my plant. Zane, water it when I'm at work. I don't know how to water plants. Instructions are on the fridge. You've become their translator, carrying conversations between two versions of the same man who refuses to speak directly. It shouldn't work, but somehow it does. Zane's shoulders relax slightly when you mention Dawn's dry sense of humour. Dawn's eyes respond gentler when you share Zane's concerns. Small progress, but progress nonetheless. The apartment is warm. You're curled against Zane's side on the sofa, his hand resting on your thigh with comfortable familiarity. The day he promised to leave has come and gone. Then another. Each time he finds a reason to stay. One more day, one more week, just until he finishes his research or ties up that loose end. You don't complain. Whatever you're doing seems to be working. The medical drama on screen drones in the background, doctors making impossible saves and falling in love between crises. Zane watches with the detached interest of someone who knows exactly how unrealistic it all is. Did you know Dawn likes these shows? Zane makes that sound, a soft hum that's become his default response whenever you mention his other half. Not quite dismissal, but not engagement either. He's memorized half the dialogue. He even quotes it under his breath when he thinks I'm not listening. Why do you keep telling me all these things? There's no real irritation under his voice, just weary confusion. His phone traces absent patterns against your leg. Well, if you understand him better, you'll end up understanding yourself better. His touch grows firmer, fingers pressing into your skin with unconscious tension. The lightness in his expression shifts, becoming something more dangerous. What do you think about him? The question catches you off guard. It's the first time he's asked you directly, without deflation or that careful professional distance he usually maintains. Okay, I think this is the last choice, so I'm going to stick to my same one from last time and say that he's an enigmata, or an enigma, but I could be wrong, so I really hope this is right. There's still so much we don't know about him. I understand why you're cautious. Relief flickers across Zane's features, like you've validated something he's been struggling with. His grip on your thigh relaxes slightly. But I don't think he's as dangerous as you believe. Not to me anyway. Just like you aren't dangerous. You can't know that for certain. No, but I trust my instincts. Zane nods slowly, processing your words. The medical drama continues its melodramatic soundtrack in the background. You shift to face him more fully, studying the sharp line of his profile in the afternoon light. What do you think about him? The question hangs between you. His hand stills completely on your leg, and you hold your breath waiting. You've wondered about this, whether his opinion has softened with time, whether the notes and shared moments have chipped away at his resistance. Oh. I'm nervous. Oh. Oh wait, I don't recognize this. Oh no. ZAYNE looks down at his hands, flexing his fingers like he's testing their responsiveness. When he's here, I can feel what he feels, see fragments of what he sees. His voice drops lower, more uncertain than you ever heard it. And sometimes I can't tell where I end and he begins anymore. I don't know if I'm watching or living. Oh wait. I don't remember reading this. And it terrifies me. The admission makes something flutter in your chest. Hope, maybe, or relief that he's finally sharing his feelings about this with you. Why? Because if we're the same person, if what separates us is just circumstance, then what's to stop me from becoming him? What if it's not a choice at all, but inevitable? His fingers curl into the fabric of your pants, anchoring himself. What if this is just borrowed time before I lose myself completely? What if I'm destined to hurt you? The vulnerability in his voice breaks something open in your chest. You start to shift closer, but he pulls back slightly, creating distance. We'll fight it. Together. You don't understand. You reach for his hand, but he moves away from your reach, fingers curling into fists at his sides. The space between you feels charged, electric, but he's fighting against it with everything he has. His gaze drops to your lips and then snaps away like he's been burned. You should be afraid of what I might become. I'm more afraid of losing who you are right now. You lean closer, testing his boundaries. His breath catches, but he doesn't move away this time. I see you, ZAYNE. Both of you. And I'm not going anywhere. Something in his carefully constructed control fractures. You lean closer, your lips almost brushing against his. I can't. If he surfaces while we're... Then let him. The words seem to scatter whatever restraint he's been clinging onto. His hand finally makes contact, cupping your face with desperate gentleness, thumb brushing against along your cheekbone. You don't know what you're saying. I know exactly what I'm saying. You lean into his touch, and the small movement breaks his resolve completely. His other arm comes around you, pulling you against him as his mouth finds yours with desperate hunger. I did it! Yes! Okay, right. Disclaimer before we get into spice. Usually with Kawi there is an animated part. I cannot physically put this on YouTube because it will get me deleted. So if you guys want to check out the NSFW part of this, there will be a link in the description which will take you straight to Patreon for that exclusive bit, and then you can come back to the video once you're done. So thank you, and thank you for appreciating that Mim cannot have her channel deleted. So the kiss is nothing like the ones you've shared before. His lips moving against yours with an intensity that steals your breath, tongue tracing the seam of your mouth until you part for him with a soft gasp. His hands tangle in your hair. Husband, now is not the time. Literally, Kate messages me. His hands tangle in your hair, tilting your head back so he can deepen the kiss, and you melt into him completely. Then the temperature drops. The change happens mid-kiss, warmth bleeding away until his mouth grows cold against yours, his touch shifting from fever to something more controlled. When you pull back slightly, different eyes meet yours. Dawn. He tries to jerk away immediately, but your hands fist into his shirt, keeping him close. I'm sorry, Don't apologize. The guilt written across his face makes your chest ache. It looks like he's committed some terrible crime instead of kissing you back. I kissed you back. Both of you. His breath catches. You can see the disbelief wearing with hope in his expression. It's okay. Touch me. That's going to be taken so bad out of context. His hands hover near your face, close enough that you can feel the chill, but not quite making contact. I'm cold. I don't care. You guide his palms to your cheeks. The cold seeps through your skin, sharp but manageable. His thumb traces your jaw with reverent care. I love you. Oh! The words fall between you like a confession torn from his chest. Before you can respond, his mouth is on yours again, harder this time. The kiss burns with the kind of intensity that comes from months of wanting, of watching from the shadows while another man lived the life he craved. His hands slide down to your waist, pulling you closer until there's no space left between your bodies. The cold radiating from his skin should be uncomfortable, but instead it heightens every sensation. When his teeth catch your lower lip, you gasp against his mouth. The temperature shifts again, cold melting into warmth so suddenly you feel dizzy. ZAYNE blinks, disoriented, his hands stilling on your waist. The confusion in his eyes clears as he processes where he is. What's happening? But before he can fully retreat, the cold returns. Dawn's hands tighten on your hips possessively. They're switching too fast, caught between control and desire, neither able to maintain dominance when you're this close, this willing. Oh my lord, the fact they're switching between the two? Whew! ZAYNE, no. Dawn shakes his head slightly, trying to clear the disorientation. And then you shift, legs parting to bracket his hips where you've pressed together on the sofa. Both versions of confusion vanish instantly. His focus narrows to you with laser intensity, pupils dilating as he takes in your position. The invitation in your eyes. Are you sure? The voice could belong to either of them. Maybe it doesn't matter anymore. You answer by reaching for the hem of his shirt instead of with words. Your fingers brush against his skin as you lift the fabric, and he goes perfectly still, letting you pull it over his head. The shirt falls forgotten to the floor. Okay, he's jacked. I am not complaining. Oh my lord. Okay, we're back on YouTube now. Thank Christ, because I don't think I could have handled much more of that. Oh my lord. Please go over to Patreon if you haven't already and check it out. You lie tangled together, breathing slowly evening out. And then you feel it. Warmer lips brush against your neck, more insistent this time, the heat sparking a gasp from your throat. It's my turn now. ZAYNE? I still don't understand, but I can't stop. Not with you. Not tonight. He moves against you, drawing a gasp that has your eyes rolling back in pleasure so intense it borders on overwhelming. I've decided to stay. His voice carries conviction, but when you look into his eyes, you see something extraordinary happening. The careful boundaries between them seem to be dissolving, shifting, and blending until it's almost until it's impossible to tell where one ends and the other begins. The look changes again and again. Sometimes the doctor's careful intensity, sometimes Dawn's desperate hunger, sometimes something that feels like both of them existing in the same moment. As if they're moving through space and time itself to love the same woman. 2 lifetimes of longing focused on this single moment. On you. His arms tighten around you, his cock still buried deep, and you feel the promise in his touch. Both versions of him choosing to stay, choosing you, choosing this complicated but perfect thing you've created together. It might be stolen time, but it belongs to you. Ending 1 or 2. Ah! We did it! Yes! Oh my god. I don't think I could have handled much more of that. I'm not going to lie. Oh my god. This video is going to be nearly an hour. Fuck. I swear, I go, you know what? I'm only going to record this video. You know, it's going to be a nice quick one. And then it never ends up being quick. But, oh my God. Right. Okay. So the link to Kawi's video, the like channel page and her itch.io where you can find the games is going to be in the description. She has done multiple. She's done Silas, who we've played already. She did Caleb. We've played that one too. She has got a few other ones. Like I think she's got one for Gojo, and I think we've also got one for like Boot Hill. So I might consider playing Boot Hill because it is Honkai Star Rail, but I don't know. We'll keep an eye out. But I am subscribed to her on Patreon, so whenever I do see it's going to be something coming up that may fit with me, for example, Love and Deepspace, then I will definitely release it, but I only do it when the video has gone live, as per request from her. So when the game is live, that's when I drop the video. So if you look at the videos and go, well, what the hell, why is her setup so different? It's because I've recorded this like probably a good couple of weeks in advance, but I appreciate you joining me. A friendly reminder, if you want to go check out the ASMR and you've missed out on the schmut, go over to Patreon. That's where it's going to be. If you're on Patreon, thank you for watching on here, because honestly, I do need to start working on Patreon a lot more. And without further ado, I'm going to leave this particular series here. So thank you so much for watching. And, yeah, now that scene's going to be living in my head rent-free for the next week. Thanks, Kawi!